Okay, it's Felicity for Get Your Rock Out, and I'm here with a couple of the lovely guys from Witchsorrow. How are you doing today?
Very well, thanks, yeah.
Brilliant, thank you.
Brilliant, and we're at Damnation. You guys played beforehand. How was it?
Awesome.
Amazing. Room was packed out, crowd was great, sound was awesome. Can't ask for much more, really.
I just looked out and just saw like beans on toast watching us, which was good. Like really heavy, like where I was really loud and kind of totally feeling the doom, which was nice. It was it was a very, very good afternoon.
I'm glad to hear it. And did you know of quite a few of your fans that were going to be coming down to see you guys?
We've had a few messages on Facebook and stuff saying they're going to come check us out, but we weren't. I don't think we were really expecting as many people as there were.
No, I wasn't expecting the room to be like it was. Like one of our friends said he had to like, really kind of barge his way into the room, which was quite spectacular for us, because we thought there would be people watching, but we thought they'd be the normal kind of just the sort of normal freaks that come and watch us and no one else. And there was just tons of people there all watching us setting our stuff up, which was a bit weird. Didn't like that, but it was a killer gig. Like, one of the better ones.
I think for this early in the afternoon as well, it was rammed, which is amazing.
Around lunchtime, so it's kind of hard to know what to expect. Really, there was a lot of headbanging, a lot of kind of fists in the air.
Singing along. So.
Yeah, I was singing along.
It's good.
And you obviously it's Damnation. It's an amazing festival. Who are you looking forward to seeing the most today?
Wizard, always. It's unfortunate they clashed with Pig Destroyer, who I was looking forward to seeing.
We've just seen Winterfiller.
Yeah, Winterfiller were unbelievable. So Wizard's Throne, they were really good. I'm really looking forward to like Gamma Primordial, My Dying Bride. But it's, I mean, like, for me, it's like Electric Wizard and Primordial really are the kind of two big hitters, because they're both bands who are like sort of favourites of mine. I think that Primordial really sum up their attitude as kind of what heavy metal is all about to me, that kind of real rude attitude. And I think that Wizard are just, this generation's Hawkwind really. They're a very, very special band who, when they play, it's, wherever it is, whenever it is, worth going to see, because you will have a really amazing time and you will sort of feel and see things that only they can sort of bring you. I suppose we saw them sound checking earlier. We were setting up our t-shirts, and it was, like, even that with like 10 people watching them in an empty room and them not into it because it was sound check, was just you got that sort of magic there already. So I'm really looking forward to seeing them later on.
Fantastic. I mean, who do you guys kind of model yourselves on as a band most? Who do you think, what we'd love to have the kind of impact that so and so did?
Black Sabbath. I mean, the whole thing for me is like doom is kind of defined by Black Sabbath, and then sort of a few others have kind of added a few colours at the same light as an Electric Wizard and Cathedral, and Solstice, and Witchfinder General, and Trouble, and bands like that. But I think really we are like all those bands. I want to make like a sort of milkshake of, with nothing else added to it. And that's kind of the whole point of it. It's like this very kind of narrow vision of doom. That it's like, if you have albums by these bands, like imagine all that, and that's doom. And that's kind of what lurks at the heart of every doom fan, I think, is that it's sort of like chasing the dragon, but musically you're constantly striving after that first Black Sabbath song. And all those bands, and all the bands follow, all the newer bands, like Black Magician and stuff like that, and Gates of Slumber. Everyone's come close. No one's quite managed it, and I think that's what keeps Doom alive. Is that no matter how good all the Doom bands are, like Reverend Brazil, one of the best bands who I've ever seen live, didn't manage to kind of capture quite the Sabbath thing. So I think that everyone kind of people not managing to reach that height is a good thing, I think, for Doom, because it means that people are still going to keep striving for it. It's going to keep Doom really kind of fresh and exciting. And every new band that comes along who are trying to do that and are doing it well are going to kind of add energy to the scene without destroying it.
So do you think that if somebody did manage to get to that level, then the genre as a whole would just collapse in on itself?
I honestly think that no one will ever better that first Black Sabbath song, because with those 3 notes of that first riff, it's Doom perfected, so there's absolutely no way of it. But I also think that you look at Electric Wizard now, who are getting quite big, and it's good because even though they're getting big, it's still a really weird cult thing, and there just seems to be more weirdos that come out to see them now. It's not like they're on the radio. It's like there's just more of these kind of oddballs like us who go out to see them, and after 20 years or whatever of doing it, they've actually started to get people, like they've got enough people that they can sort of be carried now. And it's as I said, same as Hawkwind. They're just sort of freako band who have just kept on doing it, and I think that's what Doom is going to be. It's just going to be all about, you'll never see them in the pub. There will never be like a proper scene. There'll just be all these weirdos who turn up at the gigs, and the only time you ever see them all out is at the gigs, and you go, where the fuck do all these people come from? And they just come from everywhere, but they all sit at home listening to vinyl, so they never go out anywhere. I'm right.
It's not wrong.
Brilliant. And you guys, you released God Curses earlier this year.
Yeah.
So tell us all about that, inspirations, what drew you to the idea of it in the first place, how it works as an album.
Well, it basically came from the first song, which was the title track, and that came from a conversation I had in the pub with a friend who, it was before the Large Hadron Collider at CERN got switched on, and we had this conversation. He was telling me all this. I didn't know what it was, so I don't read the papers or anything, so I didn't really know what it was. And he was sort of explaining to me and said, if they, when they switch it on, there's some scientists who reckon that it will create this black hole that will suck everything up and sort of crush the world in a second. And I thought, well, that doesn't matter. We won't know about it. It's fine. And so that was like the lyrics of the first song, which we wrote ages before we started writing the rest of the album. But from that just grew this sort of horrible weed of an album with like everything on it is really dark and bleak and miserable and kind of hopeless almost. Like there's a song in there that's like just like a really basic heavy metal song, Breaking the Law. Even that is like quite dark, and it's like every possible kind of, what's the word? It's like looking at darkness from every possible angle. Like there's people darkness, there's stuff darkness, there's weather darkness. The world's going to end brilliant, and it is quite a sort of nice game. But when we were writing it, recording it, it was like really crazy because we were so busy working on it, and then like it just became such a massive fucking immovable turd because we booked the studio before we'd written all of it. So we had to work on it all the time, and I felt like I was close to having a breakdown when we were writing. This is too much. I want a day off. I hate it. And even when we were recording, we were still like I was writing lyrics and stuff like just before they were recorded, just locking myself away in the kitchen of the studio and just sort of, fuck. I mean, we got it done, but it was all like it's all about sort of Armageddon and hating the modern world. There's not like a fear of Armageddon. It's almost like hoping it happens because I really dislike so much stuff about the world now that you're like, well, if a nuclear bomb went off and everything was fucked, we had to go back to living off land. Well, it'd be hard. I'm not saying it'd be a goof. It wouldn't be like the Darling Buds of May or anything, but it would be. I think there would be this sort of simplicity. And like I don't like a lot of things in the modern world. I don't like there's a Starbucks in every corner. I don't like the internet very much. Like I use Facebook, but I find it freaky and weird, and I don't like that everything is going online. And I think all those things are like just mental because I think it is building this enormous house of cards. I think we are setting ourselves up for this enormous fall because if one day there is, I don't know if this is possible at all, if there is someone who's got the power to just switch off the internet, that would cause a fucking panic. It would be horrible because everything's so dependent on the internet now that people would be going, what the fuck, do I've forgotten how to live? And then you'd get people, hitting their neighbour over the head for a glass of water and things. it would be Mad Max, and that's kind of what a lot of the album was about. Because at the time I wasn't even worried about it. I was just convinced it was about to happen because I just felt like it might happen. This makes me sound like I've got a tinfoil hat on. I'm sorry, but I sort of have this genuine belief that everything's about to fuck up because everything is running on empty now. Everything is, fucked, and it won't take very much. The slightest breeze will knock the remaining infrastructure over, and then we'll be fucked. And it's only going to be people like the Mormons who are left because I didn't bother with electricity and the internet and stuff anyway. I was a farmer. He's laughing at me now, so I'll stop.
I just cleared my throat.
That's what the album's about.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And you're quoted as saying there's no light on it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, is that something that you think is really, really, really important when you come to making music?
Yeah, I think that the best doom has this sort of black cloud hovering over it, and that isn't that's like the result of the sum of the parts. Really, you get this sort of black cloud hanging over it. It's sort of really heavy weight. But I think that there isn't any light in the album. There isn't a triumphant heavy metal song about keeping your chill. I love Manowar, but all their songs are about keeping your head up and kind of fighting on even when you can't and stuff. But I can't write like that because I'd feel like such a, that isn't what I could write because I'd feel like a dick writing it and it would sound cheesy to me. But there's no light in them because when I come to write, I tend not to be able to write until I really have to. That's why I end up in the kitchen writing things 5 minutes before I'm supposed to record it. And so you end up quite stressed when you're writing things. But I think you need that because I think I have quite a dim view of the world anyway. And as much as I love rock and roll and I love, getting pissed and banging my head to Judas Priest and things, when it comes to this band, it's like there is nothing kind of good about it. There's nothing hopeful. I think you spend too much of your life having to pretend that everything's okay and kind of liking things and putting up with things. And I think that when you're in a band and there's the three of you and you're all in control and you don't have to answer to anyone and you can do exactly what you want. You can write whatever music you like. You can be as heavy as you like, as loud as you like. You can say whatever you want as long as you're cool with saying it. You don't have to pretend, and so it's the time when all the kind of vomit comes out and fuck this, everything is shit, isn't it? Come on. There really isn't any hopefulness in the album. I'm quite shut up. I'm quite a sort of negative person, I think. I just find things to be very hopeless, I guess.
The next kind of 6 to 12 months, what can we expect to see from you guys?
Well, we've got a host of gigs lined up, and then Roadburn is probably the biggest thing on our agenda for 2013. We're asked by Electric Wizard to come over and play in the Netherlands with them, which is just amazing. So I'm really looking forward to that because I went this year and it was just incredible. So can't wait to be up there doing it.
I've never been, so I just have to go on sort of what he says and what I've read in Terrorizer and stuff. I'm really excited about it.
It's just, I think there's a certain vibe with Roadburn because you're there for the 4 days and it's all indoors and everyone's there for the same reason, and you kind of you just get into that mindset. And I think every band has a really long, nice, perfectly length set. It's just incredible. Can't wait. Beyond that, I guess we've got a few gigs lined up. Doing All Day Doomfest in London in a couple of weeks. 2 weeks with Ahab and Indestinance, a load of other great bands. So, yeah, plenty.
So plenty of places for people to catch you at then. Wonderful.
Forward to. Despite what I just said then.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. It's been a pleasure. And we will see you again very soon, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.